And how it was down 4 or 5% today. It's really been a risk-off trade of late, and here it is right now at 38,340. Lara Crigger's with us, editor-in-chief, ETF Trends and ETF Database. Lara, thank you so much for being with us. So, what stands out to you in the market other than this sea of red that has just been prevalent for 2022?
I think it's the sea of red that's really interesting, right? We're seeing investors on edge. This earnings season has been solid, but it's been a little overshadowed by Netflix's Big Miss and then the Twitter news and so on. So this week we're going to have the rest of the FANGs reporting. We've got Alphabet and Microsoft later today, Meta and Amazon later this week. But while that does matter, I think you don't want to overlook the macro picture here, right? So Case-Shiller's numbers, PCE, GDP, and of course inflation. That's going to indicate whether we're entering something that's a real economic slowdown or whether this is all just a momentary blip.
And I know you were noting, obviously, we've gotten some negative news from companies of the likes of Netflix and some of the other names, and you've been watching that, some of the negative earnings surprises, as you said. But now what? Are there other areas that may have some promise?
You know, I'm keeping my eye on inflation defensive sectors, particularly energy and materials. So in terms of energy, I know everybody's got their eye on oil these days, but I tend to like the oil stocks better than oil itself right now because equities let you take advantage of rising energy prices without all the downsides of getting into the futures market. So one ETF that I like there is VanEck Oil Services ETF. That's ticker OIH. And that's an ETF that's holding not the producers and the explorers, but the oil refiners, the equipment manufacturers, Halliburton, Baker Hughes, Schlumberger, companies that are benefiting from higher energy prices without being tied to all the day-to-day volatility.
And you often get a dividend for some of these oil names, right? I mean, you get paid to wait.
Yes, exactly. Dividends are top of mind for a lot of investors right now. We're seeing a lot of people pile into stocks specifically for that sweet dividend. So energy is a great place to go there.
How about some of the material names that you're watching?
Yeah, you know, I've been keeping my eye on Invesco's S&P 500 Equal Weighted Materials ETF, and the ticker here is RTM. And I like this one for three reasons. So one, it's materials, which absorb the impact of higher inflation better than other sectors. Know that inflation's not going anywhere. So secondly, RTM is a broad-based fund, so you're getting exposure to different segments within materials, not just chemicals or just paper or so on. And finally, it's equal weighted, which means that you're not holding only just a handful of big names. And in fact, that equal weighting has been really good for performance lately. RTM has seen higher returns than many of its market weighted peers in the ETFs, in the materials ETF space year to date. So I'm liking this one.
Yeah, and I know on the big picture of it, you think the real story is going to be PCE, Case-Shiller, some of these economic reports that are so GDP. These are important to you. Tell me a little bit about what you're watching for.
Yeah, absolutely. So we saw Case-Shiller, for example, come out this morning. It had the third largest rise in the index's history, about 20%. And I look at that number and I can't help but think that real estate is looking a little on the toppy side. These are sky high. Home prices are starting to put a crimp on demand. Yes, people are buying houses, but they're also trying to buy houses before mortgage rates start to rise again. So, we have GDP on Thursday, we have PCE on Friday. And I think once those numbers come in, we're going to start to see some clarity coalesce around the economic picture by weekend.
And as you noted, we're watching tech, we're watching FANG. We have a slew of these names this week. There are people who love this group. What do you tell them at this point? Stay on the sidelines? Because it doesn't seem like you're a fan of this group at this time.
I wouldn't say I'm not a fan of it. I just say exercise caution and use your mind, I guess, when you're going to this space. There's going to be a lot of opportunities to buy the dip, and keep buying, I guess, is what I would say when you find those opportunities arise.
Yeah, understood. Lara, thank you so much. Good to chat with you as the Dow is down 532 points and the Nasdaq's losing, well, a little less than 3% now. It's down 2.7%. Laura, thank you. Lara Crigger, editor-in-chief of ETF Trends and ETF Database.